Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Victor once again. It's another day and we have another scholarship. So if you're joining us for the first time, thanks for coming. Where have you been? There are lots of videos on this channel already on fully funded scholarships from around the world. So look around. Fortunately, you can still catch up. And if you're returning, thanks for the constant support. And of course, I hope you get a scholarship sooner than later. So let's move to the business of the day. We're in the US today in search of masters and PhD opportunities. We are at Dartmouth, I think that's the pronunciation, Dartmouth University or Dartmouth College in the US in search of graduate opportunities. And I will be answering critical questions like application fees, English test waivers, funding opportunities, how much do I actually get in my pocket as stipend. So all those questions will be answered in the course of this video. So just sit back and follow me as I take you through the application process. And of course, I wouldn't be leaving a link to this page. I just want you to dig it out yourself. And it's not even very difficult. Just go to the Google and type the name of the university or the college. So here I have Dartmouth already, college. And here I went straight away to graduate application fees. Um, so I want to clarify what the university policy is on application fees and application fee waivers. So straight away, and I have suggestions here already. The first one is about undergrad fees, that is $80, and some words about waivers. And then I'm not very keen on undergrads because there are more scholarships for graduate studies. So the second suggestion is actually for graduate studies, and that's what I'm looking for. So I'll click on this and see what I can get out of it. And if you click on this, of course, it takes you to the page that we started. This graduate page, the Guarini, I think that's the name of their graduate school, Guarini School of Graduate and Advanced Studies. So that's where we started. So, guys, through a simple Google search, do not be afraid to use Google, guys. Do not be afraid. It's quite easy to use. So, before we proceed to check or unearth the different opportunities, funding opportunities, and waivers, let's get some words from our sponsors. Finding affordable accommodation can be a big headache for a number of students, especially if you're coming from abroad. It becomes particularly very challenging. And fortunately, there is a solution. So, Amber Students Accommodation would assist you to get accommodation in different countries around the world, whether in the UK, whether in the US, whether you're in Canada, in the EU, it doesn't matter. Australia, the affordable accommodation for you, regardless of where you're coming from. The video you're seeing on the screen now is where I stayed about a year ago, which I booked through Amber. So the good news is that it's quite affordable as well, but the price will depend, of course, on the city you're staying. So this is Coventry, United Kingdom, and I paid about 500 to 550 for this mini studio. And there are different kinds of accommodation, of course. They are like shared accommodation. There are studios, mini studios, double rooms, single rooms. So depending on your test, depending on your pocket. So check Amber today. The link to registering your interest and looking for your accommodation will be in the description box of this video. So do not skip this opportunity. Enjoy comfortable, affordable Amber accommodation. So let's move back to the video. So we're back to the Guarini Graduate School of Graduate and Advanced Studies. So what do we do here? Unfortunately, here there are answers to key questions about pressing issues, I think, bothering you already, like application fees, English language test, GRE, and the rest of them. So the first question here already addresses the application fee issue. So it says here that a number of graduate courses have already waived the application fee, as we'll be seeing together, but some still have them. But if you want the fee waived, just contact your prospective program directly. So contact your program and tell them. As we would see, some programs have already waived the waiver. I would show you that subsequently. But if they've not waived it, just send them an email. Tell them, I'm interested in this course. I have the application's documents already, but then the application fee is the problem because I cannot afford it. I'm coming from a developing country, and that fee you're asking is like my whole salary, is my salary for a month. So if you could give me a waiver for that, I really appreciate it to help access, it does help diversity in your department. So something along that line would probably help you. And so you can get application fee waived through contacting the department directly. So, what about GRE? The GRE is also optional for many of the courses or most of the courses at this university, and it is only, I think, compulsory for computer science. So apart from computer science, for other departments, the GRE is optional. Of course, if you have the resources, take it and pass it very well because it will also help your profile. It's competitive. Lots of people are applying. So if you can write the GRE and pass it very well, please do. But if you cannot, your other documents have to be very strong to be in front of the competition, if you understand what I mean. What about English language waivers? There are also waivers for those who have studied already in the English language. So if you studied in an English speaking country where English language was 100% the language of instruction, you wouldn't need to submit an English language test for admission, but then confirm from the course you're applying for. So the course will give you fine details on whether you qualify for a waiver or not. So while we're looking at the courses or the programs subsequently, we'll check always for the English language test requirements and see if you can get a waiver or not. So what about we've checked GRE, we've checked the rest of them. So other I can get other bits of information here, but what is best to do is to go to the course page. So go to the particular course you're interested in, and then you know look at the particular requirements. So let's move here. So we'll go to the programs or the courses and see what we can do. So these are the courses offered at this college or at this university. It's quite a small university compared to the bigger ones. The majority of the courses here are in the STEM field. And to be honest, as you can see on your screen, the majority of the courses here are in the STEM field. And as I often say, there are more funded opportunities for PhDs than for masters. For masters, yeah, you might get one or two there, but for PhD, almost every PhD student, not every PhD student, but almost all PhD students get full funding. But for masters, you're not very sure. But the good news is that you can move directly from a BSc to a PhD in most US universities, including this one. So instead of applying for master's in engineering, why not just apply for a PhD in engineering? Because if you apply for this one, master's in engineering, you're not sure of funding. But if you apply for a PhD in engineering and you get in, you're, let's say, 80% or even close to 90% sure of full funding. So let's start with engineering and a PhD in engineering. So let's see, we open the website and see what it says. So this is the engineering website. And of course, we check the applications requirements for a PhD and read very closely. I think there are different forms of a PhD here. We won't be going into that, but of course, that's like the deep dive. You have to do on your own. We'll be looking at the general information. So the deadline is December 15th, and the different terms of application, and then the documents you need to provide. There's an online platform, which is understandable, where you submit your documents. And then there's something about what do they call it? Application fees. He said it's $50, which is cheaper compared to other universities charging 70, 80, or even 100 or more. However, possible to get a waiver, as we saw in the graduate page. Now, if you contact them directly, you might be able to even get a waiver for this $50. So I would probably show you how to contact them. Then these are the other documents you need to provide, like the recommendation letters, academic transcripts. It is saying here that the WES evaluation, the WES is like an international company that evaluates international certificates. So if you're coming to study in the US and you're coming from Nigeria, WES would show you how your Nigerian certificate compares to the US educational system or educational grading standard. They said it is optional, but if you can do that, it's a good thing. So go for it if you have the resources. It's often not free as well. That's just the problem. So if you can do a WES evaluation, please do it. If you cannot, they said it is optional. You can see here it's not mandatory for admission, but it's advisable. So that is left to your own interpretation. So other documents you can submit. So let's see. What about the IELTS or the TOEFL, the English language test? So it says here that those who study in the English language will not need to submit, especially from these countries. And I can see Nigeria here already, so that's a relief. I can see Ghana as well. But if your country is not here and you think you've studied already the English language, why not send them an email directly and make a case for yourself and say, hey, see, I've studied the English language all my life. I think I need a waiver from any of these English language tests. And if you cannot get a waiver, I suggest you take the Duolingo test instead. It's the most affordable English language test ever. It's like 10 times cheaper than the IELTS or the TOEFL. So if you're not able to get a waiver, contact them on time. If they said no, then you can always write the Duolingo. It's quite affordable. Then you see here that the GRE is optional. So that's also good. The GRE is optional. So what about funding? Money in the pocket. So let's go back to the main page for the engineering department. Let's see. So what about funding? So there's something about funding here. I think, yeah, this is funding and expenses. So how much do we get in the pocket? So it says here that for tuition, it's covered by the graduate research assistantship. So you wouldn't have to pay tuition. It also covers your insurance, so that's good. Healthcare, instructional facilities, so you wouldn't have to pay any tuition if you get in. And then what about stipend? For your stipend, this is quite generous and quite high as well. One of the highest I've seen in the US, to be honest. And you're getting 40,000 US dollars per year, which is broken down into 3,333 dollars per month. So that's actually good money if you ask me. So this is quite generous. And of course, it comes in form of research assistantship, teaching assistantships. So you'll be working in the department as a research assistant or a teaching assistant. And in return, you get this large amount of money we see here. So this is very generous. And this is for the engineering department, by the way. It might not be the same for other departments. So it is good you check and see what your department is paying. So where do you find that application fee waiver I talked about? Well, it says contact the department. So send them an email or something. So look for their contact details and see if there's a way you can contact them, and you know can always go to community. I think this is a faster way to get a hold of them. So go to community, go to offices, then look for the person in charge of graduate admissions or things like that. So this is somebody in charge of your academic and student affairs. That's somebody you can contact and ask for a waiver and make your case, or check for somebody in charge of graduate admissions. Yeah, so this is the person, this person up here. This is the closest to the person you can contact. Let's learn more. Let's see if there's a person here we can send an email to. Okay, so good. There's somebody here, Candace Potter. She or he is in charge, or they in charge of graduate admissions, financial aid, and financial aid administrator. So this is the person you want to send an email and make a case for an application fee waiver. That is if you're applying to engineering, of course. I think this is just for engineering department. The person in charge of your own department might be totally different. So check again for your department. So that's engineering. Let's go to check another department. Let's say, which one should we check this time? Let's check earth sciences. So environment, earth sciences, and see what they're offering. So we're going to graduate, right? Prospective students. So this is it for earth sciences. the documents you need to submit. And they said the GRE is waived, so where you should submit your transcripts to. Okay, I think they need a physical copy at this department because now they have a physical address. So probably you have to upload the e-copy on the admissions portal, then send them a physical copy. I think that's what they're implying. And then there's something different about this department. So the department is quite small and there are few professors there. You're meant to contact the professors directly, and they've given the names of the professors who are accepting PhD students and their areas of interest. So it means you have to look for these professors and I think contact them directly and show how your area of interest align with theirs. So they've given a number of professors here and what they're working on. So please contact them and see and make a case. So your tuition is also covered and you're getting 2,900 per month. Also quite generous. Maybe not as high as what we saw at the engineering department, but this is good money. And then your tuition covered and insurance and every other thing. So this is good. This is good. So let's look at one more department before we go. Let's go to physics and see what is different. So this is physics. So we go to graduate and graduate awards. Is it awards we're meant to go to or admissions? Graduates. Let's go to financial aid. So the amount of money here wasn't stated, but it just said full tuition, assistantship for 5 years. So you're also sure of something of getting your tuition covered, and I think an assistantship, and I think a stipend as well. But the exact amount wasn't specified like the other departments that we saw. So how do you apply for this one? Physics. Let's see. As usual, you can see BSc BA, they're not asking for a master's. And this is a PhD, remember, we're applying for. So I've told you before, you can apply directly. And the portal to apply is here. And it says the deadline is on the 15th. And it says there is no application fee. Let's make that bolder so you can see clearly. There is no application fee to apply for the graduate program in physics and astronomy. That's beautiful news. That's good news. And it says here that GRE may be submitted, but it's not required. So that's good. And then um, English proficiency test is needed, but a language proficiency exam is not required if you have previously studied at an institution in an English speaking country. So that's good. So lots of goodies here. You can see how we dug up lots of this information. So please check for your own department, check for your own course and see what is obtainable. And of course, we wish you good luck. And that's it, guys. I hope this was useful. Fully funded graduate opportunities at Dartmouth University in the US with application fee waivers, with GRE waivers, with English language waivers, with lots of money as well, up to 40,000 per year, as we saw in the engineering department the other time. So please look around and I hope you find something that catches your interest. So, as usual, guys, let's go back to the YouTube channel where we started. We cannot wait to celebrate you. So, look around. There are lots of materials already on this channel. So, just pick at least one and concentrate on that one and follow through. And then go to the next one and follow through. So, apply to as many as possible and make sure you put your best foot forward, regardless of which university, regardless of the number of universities you're applying to. And my prayer for you and the hope is that by the time the admissions committee finish selecting their candidates, that you'll be among the top candidates, selected with amazing funding opportunities. So as usual, guys, I would see you at the top sooner than later. Bye bye for now.